I absolutely love the sunshine, but when it impacts my photos, that is rough. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to take the best reveal photos for your online store or for your YouTube videos. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Natalie with Sparks of Joy Digital. I want to let you know today about some things that can really change the quality and the engaging feel that your photos would provide. When you are doing a project and you are working so hard to make it look so perfect, and especially as DIYers, this is a big thing for us. But then you get to the end of your video and you give maybe a 2-second view of the final project. That's going to kind of lead some viewers astray because the whole purpose of them wanting to watch and the whole reason they would want to kind of replicate the work that you're doing is by seeing your final reveal. So we need, as creators, to ensure that we are providing our audience with that quality final reveal. And a huge part of that is to create quality photos of your work. This is not only important for your YouTube videos or your Facebook Reels, but it's also really important for when you are posting those projects like in an online store. So let's talk today about some things that can really level up the photos that you're taking of your work.
To give you some immediate peace of mind, I am not saying you have to run out and get the most expensive camera or any type of fancy equipment in order to take these photos. You can take quality and probably near professional photos with your iPhone or any smartphone that you may have. One thing you definitely want to consider is where you are taking these photos. You do want to use natural light. Make sure you're shooting near a window or outside, and you also want to make sure you're in shaded daylight to get that bright, even lighting. Daylight and natural light is wonderful, but one of the challenges with it is when you have that glare coming in from the sun. So make sure that you're considering this and looking all around to find the best place for your photo.
Another thing you want to consider when you are taking photos of your projects for a website, especially like a web store, but also is actually a really smart thing to think about if you're doing a YouTube video or a reel, is what the backdrops look like. You absolutely want to show it styled in a vignette, but you also want to make sure that your project shines. So make sure you're considering what's in the background. And if not only the lighting, but the kind of contrast between what's in the background and your project is enough that it allows your project to shine. Consider these things. Look at, if you don't have like a perfect like backdrop right now, it is so easy to just take like maybe like a white sheet or a blanket and have it be the background. There's also a really cool feature on, I know an iPhone, I'm assuming an Android would have something similar, but you can use portrait mode. And what portrait mode does is it kind of makes the background become more of a blurred so that the main focal point is there and does shine. So that's another thing that you can do with your projects to kind of allow for that. The only thing I would mention that I've learned when I've used portrait mode is that sometimes if you don't allow your phone to focus the entire time or enough before you take your picture, then what might happen is it might blur some of your actual project you're trying to highlight. So make sure when you're in portrait mode to hold it steady and hold it for a bit so that you can allow the phone to focus in on the project itself and learn what needs to be blurred out. If you feel like this feature really isn't working for you, then just nix it and just do the other things instead. There's some other things that you can do with a phone that makes it almost like you're using it as a pro, okay? You want to make sure this is so easy. Make sure the actual lens is clean. Get a microfiber cloth or something, wipe it down, make sure there's no smudge marks or anything else on it before you start taking your pictures. I had this happen to me once where I couldn't figure out why I don't know if it was a video or a photo, was so fuzzy and weird. And then I realized it's just because I had some like paint or something right on the lens. So there are like the different things that we do that are just such simple fixes to create such a drastic effect and change in your work. But there's also other editing features within your phone that you can use either while you're prepping the shot or afterwards. There's ways to adjust the actual angles and the size, or not the size, the like the grid line so that it's aligned in the right position. There's ways to change the brightness and the contrast. So I would play with these features a bit. It is something that you're probably going to have to adjust accordingly for each project that you have. Maybe not necessarily something that you'll be able to master immediately because it will be different from shot to shot. Another thing you want to think about is how you're going to stabilize your shot. A tripod is obviously a great tool that you can use. One thing that I find difficult with using a tripod is sometimes when I'm styling and prepping my shots, I'm actually placing them on the ground or somewhere where I know I'm going to get good lighting and a good background, but maybe not necessarily a great place for me to have a tripod angle it the way I want. I might have to be laying on the ground and like kind of angling it, to the side so that I can get the right shot. So, another thing you can consider if you're not using a tripod is holding your phone closer to your chest and your elbows close to your body, which will give you the most stable kind of balance when you are getting ready to take that shot. Another thing I've done is use the floor as a support for me when I am doing those lie down shots to create that best effect. The last tip that I have for you today for your pictures is to think about polishing and editing your work at the end. After your picture's already taken, when you go to put it into your video or you go to post it on your website, think about things that you might need to do to kind of polish it up a bit. There's ways to, like I said before, adjust the contrast, the lighting, the brightness, all that. But also, do you need to crop it? Do you need to kind of edit out some features? There's also a really cool effect that you can use. I know in iMovie, and I know there's other similar features in other type of programs. It's called Ken Burns in iMovie, where like you can take a shot and just have it move your like while your picture is there. So instead of just a blank shot that's sitting there waiting, you actually can have something that is moving to kind of create another effect of that. And, depending on the speed with which you're doing it, it kind of creates another kind of effect of like, wow, look how stunning this project turned out. Those are some really quick tips to turn your beautiful work that we all know is beautiful, but make it shine for all those others who are looking at it too. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give me a comment below. Let me know, how do you take your reveal shots for your website or for your YouTube videos? And what are some other things that you would love to learn to kind of level up your videos, your website, anything like that? And I'll see you soon.